Hello and welcome to Coach Hoots' Hot Corner Episode 5, brought to you by bchornetsports.com. I'm Coach Jared Hoots, and on this week's episode, we're coming to you live from the snowbird paradise of Orange Beach, Alabama. We're going to check out how our boys and girls teams did in the respective Christmas tournaments, take a look at other Christmas tournaments, talk about the college football bowl season, and finally on the high horse. With the new year coming up, we're going to talk about some New Year's resolutions. Our girls team started off the week by beating Beardstown 62-24 at home before Christmas there on Monday. Katie Flynn had 15 points and Macy Blintlinger had 14. Then the Hornets moved on to the day after Christmas. They played in the 38th annual Beardstown Lady Tiger Classic. They defeated Macomb 71-50 in the first round of the Lady Tigers Classic. Then an hour and a half later, the Hornets faced Illini West, the number 4 seed, and lost 46-33. Gabby McGaff led the Hornets with 10 points in the loss. On day 2 of the Lady Tiger Classic, the Hornets beat Pittsfield 43-38. And then on the third day, the Hornets lost to Illini Central 48-41. Taking a look at the last day of the tournament, which would be played on Monday, Havana plays Lewiston for the championship. Illini West plays Illini Bluffs for third place. West Hancock plays Liberty for fifth place. Illini Central plays Route in the consolation bracket. In the consolation play-in bracket, Abington plays North Green. In the consolation loser bracket, Pittsfield plays Unity. And the play-in losers bracket, Western plays Beardstown. Like I told you guys before, you have to have some type of crazy map to be able to figure out who's all playing and where in that 24-team double elimination tournament there. They put it on over Beardstown. They do a wonderful job playing games in both gyms, both the junior high and high school gym, and make it a wonderful atmosphere for girls basketball over the Christmas season. Our Hornets finished the year at 10-5. Yeah, the boys played in the Macomb Holiday Tournament. They started off the 9 a.m. morning game with Liberty. The Hornets lost 63-48. The Hornets took a 24-18 lead into the locker room, but the Hornets saw Liberty outscore them 45-24 in the second half. The Hornets were led by Nathan Henniker with 10 points and Birdie Woodward added 9. The Hornets played the Canton Little Giants in the consolation bracket and won 46-45. The Hornets fell behind the Little Giants 18-10 at the half, mostly because of a slow start shooting at 27%, but then heated up the nets in the second half. They shot a 58% from the field. They also used clutch free throw shooting by Tate Fullerton down the stretch to seal the game. Nathan Henniker scored 20 points and Tate added 12. The Hornets won their third game over the Eureka Hornets 59-49. Hopefully, if you were a betting man, you placed a bet on the Hornets in this game. The game was back and forth throughout. The Hornets took a lead for good when Gavin Miller scored 8 straight points in 3 possessions for the Hornets. He hit 2 threes and scored a layup. Gabe Blakely put in his best game of the year so far, scoring 14 points, and Nathan Henniker added a 20-point, 10-rebound double-double for the Hornets. The Hornets played the Weathersfield in the Consolation Championship and lost 61-40. The Hornets could not stop the tournament's leading scorer, Colton Quintangelo. He dropped 32 points on the Hornets. Nathan got his second straight double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Nathan was named the 10-man all-tournament team, and the Hornets finished up their year at 7-6. Taking a look at other tournaments of interest, the Payson Indians won the Greenville tournament by beating Greenville 73-27. At the MVIT tournament in Unity, Rushville beat Western 59-51. Over at the Williamsville tournament, Peoria Quest beat Porta 47-43 to punch their ticket to play in the championship. The two reasons I mentioned this, one is Porta is the number 3 seed over at Winchester and is always a tough out. The second reason I mention this is they beat South Fulton 117-31 in the first round. Now, to score 117 points in high school, you have to be trying to do it, or you're trying to send a message to someone, especially with a running clock in the fourth quarter. I really would like to know how this happened or why this happened, just for my own interest. And then finally, over at Waverly, the number 1 seed is West Central, is playing Route for the championship. I also think Triopia and North Green is playing for the Consolation Championship. So that's 4 WIVC teams playing in championship games over there. There's a lot of teams playing on the 4th day for the tournament for some hardware around the area. As a coach, you always want to play for that play 4 games in that tournament to get your money's worth. I figured if you could go 3-1 in those tournaments, you're doing your job. You always want to play those maximum number of games when it comes to tournament time. It makes it look like the field at Winchester will be loaded and packed with good teams in the next 2 weeks. I would also like to thank Steve Surratt with bchornetsports.com and Jack and Charlie Hall with CentralIllinoisSports.com for bringing us the coverage of the tournaments this past week. I was driving down to Orange Beach and the games were coming in loud and clear, and the YouTube channel was up and you could watch the games on the road. I appreciate you guys doing that, making it enjoyable for everybody in the area and whoever's traveling during the season to keep up with their games. It's a great luxury for Area to have these guys putting this on for these players, and make sure you tell them thanks whenever you see them out, and the local sponsors. Moving on to some other things in sports. Right now is college bowl season. I love this time of year where you can watch football with all different types of teams that you may not seen before, players that you've only heard about and haven't had a chance to watch. I think college football is a great thing by going to the 4-team playoffs, but I think they must expand it. After the LSU-Oklahoma blowout, I think it needs to go to 8 or 12 teams. How great is the college basketball tournament when the underdog upsets the big dog, or that Cinderella team makes a 2 or 3 game run in the NCAA tournament? A lot of it right now comes down to, if you lose a game, it's when do you lose it? Do you lose it at the beginning of the year, or do you lose it late in the year? Do you schedule hard teams in your non-conference games, or do you schedule cupcakes so you make sure you go undefeated? I know it comes down to a lot to money and tradition, but I think it needs to be done. I also think this will help with people sitting out in bowl games. You see a lot of the top name NFL draft picks that aren't playing in one of the top bowls sitting out because of they don't want to get hurt, the risk of injury, the risk of the future. Alabama has a situation right now. I know Saban's not happy about it. That might be another episode of the Hoots High Horse. But right now, I think in the college season, there's so much fan base that if you expand that, there's room to make it grow and make it more exciting for college football. I know right now it comes down to 4 teams, and those 4 teams come in. But I think one of these years we're going to get a team left out that can make some noise, or that one lost team that maybe had some injuries down the stretch and just didn't stay healthy. If you take a look at baseball the last few years, the team that won the wild card, or the wild card winners, or the hot teams at the end of the year has the one that made the biggest runs. That could happen in college football also. To take a quote of one of my favorite football coaches, Mike Leach, he did a press conference a few probably months back, and he talked about the college football not having a true playoff system. He said he takes a look at high school. How does high school do it? They have a playoff. How does Division III do it? They have a playoff. How does Division II do it? They also have a playoff. 1AA, they have a playoff. Division I football is the only one that doesn't have a true playoff with more than 8 teams participating. I think it's just something that needs to change. It's just something that was on my mind right now. Watching college football is a great time of year to be a football fan and to watch football. Just think how much it'd be if they expanded it. On this week's Hoots' High Horse, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. I'm going to give you some helpful, hopefully some encouraging advice about resolutions. The dictionary defines resolution as a firm decision to do or not to do something. This time of year, everyone is thinking about making that New Year's resolution. Some of the most popular resolutions are to diet, to lose weight, save money, eat better, go to church, quit smoking, quit chewing, quit drinking. All those are examples of New Year's resolutions. I bet if you think about it, one time in your life you tried to stop doing at least one of these things, or sometimes even for a New Year's resolution. My question to you is, why wait to a new year to start changing things? That is what a resolution is. It is change. If you are wanting to change a habit or behavior or action that you do or have, shouldn't we strive every day to change something or to be better at something each day? A lot of sports motivational quotes say, "Get better than I was yesterday." Jeff Trickey is a quarterback guru that has quarterbacks camps all over the United States and works with young QBs every day. He starts his camp off every day with being 11 today. What being 11 means is people are always rating things 1 to 10 on a certain scale. And his motto is to the kids is to be more than a 10, being 11. It really hits home to the kids that you don't just have to get to be a 10, you get to go above and beyond it. But what happens when you make that resolution, for example, to lose weight, and you go to the Y for a month, but then you miss 2 days? Or you're trying to make that change to go to church, but you miss one Sunday. Do you stop? Do you make an excuse about working out? Do you stop and make the excuse that I missed one church service so I don't need to go back? The hardest thing about keeping a change is consistency. You must consistently keep changing your actions so your resolution will happen. So if you miss that workout, don't stop. It's hard to be an 11 every day, but if you work to be at 11 every day, you will reach your goal. You don't have to make drastic changes each year if you strive to be that 11 each day. Strive for small things that make you happy, and you'll feel good about each resolution you try to make. Lastly, I hope everybody out there had a Merry Christmas. I'm wishing you all best wishes for the new year, and hopefully those resolutions that you make as you strive to be an 11 every day come true. This has been a production of bchornetsports.com. This is Coach Jared Hoots signing off. Get out and support your BC Hornets this week, and remember, make sure you're living life like a 3-1 count. See you next week.